So what is intelligent automation? Well, it's really a collective term for a set of technologies that when combined can deliver some incredible capabilities. What I mean by that, it's the combination of robotic process automation, which if you can imagine are kind of arms and legs of the digital worker. And then when you give that digital worker skills, let's call it brain or capabilities, things like being able to read documents, being able to think, to some degree, rules-based thinking with AI, being able to learn through things like machine learning. When you put together all of those kind of technologies, those skills, plus robotic process automation, you get this collective term of intelligent automation. So that's kind of what it is. Intelligent automation is just one methodology, really, but for CSPs to accelerate their digital transformation programs. And it's because a lot of the technology involved in intelligent automation, like RPA and AI and machine learning, is somewhat non-invasive. It means by that I mean you don't have to write lots of interfaces into your backend systems, your CRM systems, your provisioning systems, and so forth. Because you don't have to do that, it can be a very quick way of achieving a number of elements of digital transformation. So, for example, one of our clients, Telefonica, is using intelligent automation in its B2B business, and they have transformed their customer capability in B2B. They've shortened the time for their agents to be able to respond with the right information back to their clients in very, very complex product situations. They've shortened those down from what was in some cases was weeks, but certainly days and weeks, down to hours and minutes. That's true transformation, and that's been enabled in Telefonica using intelligent automation. And in fact, in that particular case, they've been able to reduce their operating cost by more than 30% within the first 6 months of this program. So as you can see, as CSPs try to figure out how to execute successfully digital transformation, the capabilities that intelligent automation brings are really quite compelling and accelerate that journey through the digital transformation program. The Telefonica Spain B2B example is a great example around contact center transformation. But there are several others that we've been involved in around the world. So another one I'd mention would be in Telefonica Vivo. So the operation of Telefonica in Brazil, it's known as Vivo. Huge CSP, very large country, hundreds of millions of subscribers. And in their case, their big challenge in digital transformation was around their technical support and engineering capability. For example, they receive between 800,000 and 1 million trouble tickets a month, which is a huge volume. But then what they had to do in the past was get an engineer to look at every single one of those trouble tickets. You can imagine up to 1 million trouble tickets a month being analyzed by an engineer, many of which the resolution of would be very straightforward. In some cases, it might be as simple as turn the switch on or plug the device in. And there was a lot of waste, a lot of time, a lot of frustration as well in the case of the engineers. So in Vivo's example, what they've done is introduced intelligent automation to provide a triage capability for all of their support calls and technical fault calls and so forth. So that now when the tickets get logged, intelligent automation looks at those tickets and says one of three things. Either this is something that can be very easily fixed. I will send an SMS. I will send an email. I'll deal with it immediately. Just give them the answer. Or secondly, I need to. We need to know. We need to send an engineer. This is clearly a fault. Somebody has put a spade through a cable. clearly it needs an engineer to co-fix it. And the third case, which is can't really tell whether this is easily fixed or not. Now I need an engineer to look at it. And that way, what they've been able to do through this approach is a number of things. First of all, reduce their time to resolve these faults by over 25%. They've also reduced their cost by more than 20%, which is a big win. You know, one of the things that digital transformation programs are really set out to do is both transform the customer experience, transform the employee experience, but also take cost out of the business simultaneously. So all those things together. So they've been able to do that, take more than 20% of cost out of the business, reduce the time to deal with the faults, and also something that they were surprised at is the employee engagement scores have really gone through the roof. One of their big problems was engineer attrition. Through this capability that they've now delivered, their engineers are much happier, which is a great outcome. So the impact for people is quite profound. When you combine RPA with AI and machine learning, what you give is you'll give your business is an ability to separate out mundane, boring, repetitive, error-prone tasks that to date you've relied on people to do. And people are not good at boring, repetitive, mundane things. You know, and that's why you get errors. So by combining RPA and AI and ML and OCR and all those capabilities and providing intelligent automation, you give people more room to do the things they're really good at and actually the things they signed up for. So if you're a contact center agent, you want to talk to people. You don't want to spend your time trying to navigate back-end systems to find the piece of information that the client is waiting for you to tell them. You're able to get that right away. And that means you have a different type of conversation with your client. You're immediately solving their problem. You're collaborating. It's a much better, richer experience for the customer on the end of the phone, but importantly for the agent or the engineer or whoever's dealing with it. And we recently put together a case study for Telefonica Spain and their B2B and B2C transformation projects. And one of the big headlines from B2C is that the reaction from the people in Telefonica has been very positive to the concept of working in teams with digital workers and human workers together as a team, side by side, solving the problem, each focusing on the things they're really good at. And that what Telefonica talk a lot about is how they are advancing their culture and giving people a better work experience, a more productive work experience, and a more fulfilling experience as they do their jobs and do different aspects of their job. Less of the boring, mundane stuff, and more of the interesting conversational decision-making, collaborative things that humans are built to do. So the last 9 months have been obviously traumatic and very challenging for everybody around the world, governments, societies, businesses, and the CSPs have had a particular challenge because as people have been confined to home working, that's put an enormous strain and reliance on the networks that the CSP operates, the contact centers, all of the other services that they provide that may have been provided in person, like engineers. Most of that now has to be done remotely, and that's put a heavy burden on the networks, but also on the way of working. So what we're really seeing right now is an evolution in the way people work, and I think it's going to be an evolution that remains after we've been through the worst of this current pandemic. We're going to see this new style of working. The home working, self-service, the collaboration of all of those different technologies to meet the customer's needs. That's going to remain, and we've really seen rapid response from the CSPs, and we've had the honor of working with some of our clients. So, for example, one of our clients in the UK has served its customer, the NHS in the UK, by giving them visibility of network issues, network outages, network problems, so that if the emergency services need to respond and there's network issues, together they find another way of providing that continuous service. And that's super impactful and a highly collaborative effort between the CSP and the NHS. And I think it's going to change the way in the future businesses approach how their problems and their challenges, and collaborate with CSPs to find new ways of working, new capabilities, employing intelligent automation technologies to do a lot of the legwork, and giving the humans the chance to do the things they're really, really good at.